Your journey can only begin when the self-doubts stop. The first step is harnessing your bravery within. Believing in you is your host, Sean D. Morris.
Hello and good day to you all. My name is Sean, and I'd like to take a moment just to say thank you so much for tuning into another one of my episodes of Bravery Within. I wanted to say thank you so much for making me a small part of your day. I know that I'm only here for about 45 minutes to an hour with kind of where I could try to keep my podcast and stuff there, but for you guys to tune in and say thank you very much and stuff there for that, taking me along in the ride, if you're sitting in your vehicle, if you're sitting at home, working out, whatever it is, I just wanted to say thank you very much there for making me a small part of your life for a few minutes. So I figured today is going to be something, and I got to be honest while leading out on this one here, before I started my weight loss journey, I wish I would have checked into this just a little bit more. I hadn't really taken into account the full ramifications of sleep. The kind of impact it has on your weight loss journey. To be honest, I've done some research on this, and now I'm actually completely blown away with how much of an impact it is. I always know that, sleep is good for you. You got to have it. We've all heard it in our life saying you need to get more sleep. You need to, whatever it takes to allow your body to recharge. What I didn't really take into account was how crucial it is to your weight loss journey. I wish I would have known some of these facts prior to leading out with my weight loss journey. I honestly didn't really take into account sleep because I figured, okay, well, calorie in, calorie out, that's what I got to worry about there. A little bit of exercise, which of course I hadn't done, but I've done everything through diet, and I know we're not supposed to use that word, and I do my very best not to use it, but it's the food that, I concentrated on through this whole process, and I continue to concentrate with this whole process. Then I started doing more research after I jumped off the cliff and decided to do this massive change with my life. And I wish I would have known some of these things here prior to getting going. It might have made things a little bit easier, but the thing that shocks me the most, I think, is sleep, how if you don't get enough of it, how detrimental it is to your whole weight loss journey. I've always tried to figure out, like I've said in other podcasts and stuff there, I wanted to set myself up to win. I wanted to make sure, because I've done the whole diet thing my whole life, trying to get the weight off, and I've always failed. I tried to figure out what was going to be different this time and how to basically, hedge the house bet in my favor this time instead of, failing. And one thing that I honestly did not take into account was sleep. You would think that would be something is so simple and it's just taken for granted. But we all know that we're on we have our circadian rhythms and stuff there that we have to stick within in a 24-hour time period. Our bodies are all set up to run around the sun, run around the moon. There's so much that actually goes into it. It's actually quite shocking when you actually start doing a little bit of research into sleep and how crucial and how beneficial and how basically just everything about it. It actually blew my mind to do some of the research that I have done for this podcast. And one thing that I've learned is this is definitely going to be more than just a one podcast episode just to talk about sleep. It's incredible what it does for you. So learning some things about this whole thing here is what I wanted to bring to the table today. So hopefully, if I haven't lost all of you out there, because you're probably thinking, oh, for Pete's sakes, we really got to talk about sleep. Unfortunately, yes, because after I dug into this and found out, I really wanted to talk about this and make it part of a podcast. And like I said, I'm probably going to do more than one episode on it there. So basically, settle in, get ready to go. These are the things that we're going to talk about today in the podcast. First thing is the importance of sleep and the connection to your health. This one, I'll be honest, it completely blew me away. I had no idea how detrimental or how helpful sleep is. Second thing we're going to talk about today is the impact it can have on your weight loss journey. I know that kind of goes along with the first one, but there is a difference in it and stuff there, so I wanted to make sure that I brought it to the table. And the final thing that we'll talk about is the psychological effects sleep or the lack of sleep can have on you. Like I said, it really blew me away learning some of this stuff. So I'm going to do my very best to not put any of you to sleep while we go through this episode. So here we go. Yes, I let out with a dad joke there, normally at the end, but I couldn't resist. Sorry, guys. I had to lead out with one. There's so many puns that I wanted to talk about in this one here, but I'm just going to leave well enough alone and be good about this. So I thought we would lead out here for the first one here, the importance of sleep and the connection about, let me try that again. The importance of sleep and the connection to your health. I probably shouldn't scroll on my notes while I'm trying to read. I don't do very good at that, apparently. So what I thought I would lead out, and, I know there's a lot of, you can Google stuff, and, and that's where I find a lot of things, but I actually like to go to a lot of health websites and stuff there. So that way the information that I'm bringing to the table is not only good for me, but it's also good for you. I'm starting to develop a pretty good following out there. You guys are wonderful. I can't thank you enough for following the podcast. So the one thing that I want to make sure that I do is if I'm bringing information to you so that way you can evaluate it, whether you want to work it into your health, your lifestyle, everything about it, I want to make sure that I'm on good foundation. So I always make sure that I go to, the medical sites and stuff there to get these information. So everything that I've done is somebody wrote it, but it was also verified by a doctor. So I just wanted to let you know that all of these facts and this data is actual good data. And it's not, I don't take it from just one source. I go from 2 or 3 sources to make sure that, okay, was the first one hooey balooey or were they on point? What it is. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time that, I did dig in, did do my research to make sure that, this is the right way of going about it. So the importance of sleep and the connection to your health. I thought I would start out by giving you some interesting sleep facts, and I found these from the kind folks at the Sleep Foundation. I thought that would be a good place to get started. So the first thing that I learned is on average, we spend about 2 hours a night dreaming. Now, I'll be honest, I thought I dreamt all night until I dug into this, and you actually don't until you hit REM sleep, and then rapid eye movement, then you start to hit the dream phase and stuff there, but you end up backing up. There's 4 levels of actual sleep and stuff there, but I figured I would save that one there for another podcast. It was rather interesting in how the body shuts down, how, everything works. It's how your body is actually, by phase 3, is actually paralyzed, so your muscles don't contract, and your body basically says, okay, you need to relax, take a break, and it actually paralyzes your body, which I thought was really cool, but I'll save that for another podcast. But dreaming wise, honestly, just 2 hours a night, that kind of blew me away. I honestly thought it was a little bit more than that. I sure think that there was some of the nightmares that I have. I'm not going to lie about that. And I've had some doozy of nightmares, which I'm sure all of you have as well. So I found that kind of interesting. The next thing that I learned is more than 1/3 of U.S. adults sleep less than 7 hours per night. It is recommended, of course, that you get 8 hours of sleep, but adults can function adequately on 7. So when I read that, I sat back and I thought, all right, how many hours am I getting per night? And then I dug and I thought, okay, well, most of the time, hey, I work early in the morning, so I'm not going to, make this up. I go to bed at 8 o'clock at night during the week. One thing that I try to be very, very careful is I stick to a strict regimen of sleep. I do it with food. I do it with eating. I eat at certain times. And because I'm careful with everything. But one thing I wanted to do was make sure that I was stuck to a good bedtime. And I have done that for years. So this isn't something that I just started doing because of the weight loss plan. I actually did it. I've been doing it for, probably 30 years. As far back as I can ever remember. That would put me at that would make me 16, 18 at the time. No, I probably didn't go back. Probably 25 years before my son come along. And then just one thing that I learned, but because when babies come along, keeping them into a strict routine also helps. So I just got myself into it. So I actually went back and I thought, okay, how many hours per night do I sleep? And then I scared myself. I actually sat and thought. Normally from about 8 to 11:30 or 12 midnight, I sleep pretty darn good. It just depends on, what I've done for the day. If I'm lucky enough to actually shut down as soon as I head to bed. The part that gets me though is I'm old, or gaining at least on the age thing. I can't go all night without running to the bathroom. So 11:30, 12 o'clock, I'm up, and I let my little girl Willow out there, so she's got to go outside and sniff and do her thing. And then sometimes what I've learned is it's very hard for me to actually go back to bed and get some rest. I found that my mind kicks in and I start working on the next day saying, okay, I gotta make sure this laundry's done, or I gotta go get groceries, or I gotta make sure these bills are paid, or do I need to do something on the truck there to get it fixed? Do I need to help a friend out? Do I need something for Willow? There's so many things. Your mind, it just takes off. It just goes crazy. I'm sure some of you out there can, as soon as you hit the bed, out cold, you're out 8 hours. For you, I actually envy you. It's amazing. I haven't been able to sleep like that in 20 years. So I'm happy if I get 4 or 5 hours a night at most, which is not healthy. The more I learn, which I knew anyway, but just everything that I've learned through the facts and the research tells me officially not good. It's setting me up to fail for my weight loss journey. But one thing that I made a commitment to myself saying, I am going to do it this time. Nothing is going to slow me down. Now, there's always hiccups and stuff like that there as you go through. But for the most part, I'm just absolutely 100% determined to make this weight loss journey happen this time. So I wish I would have known about the sleep. To be honest, I don't know what else I could do. I've actually talked to people. I've talked to doctors. I've talked to other people there that have trouble sleeping to see what they do. Nobody really has a really great answer. The first thing they always say is, well, relieve your stress. Okay, well, if I could relieve my stress, yeah, I'd probably sleep better. But I'm still working on it. But all I can do is bring up these facts to you and hope there's something in here in the information that will help you. So the next thing that I learned, and before, leading into this, my son is part Hawaiian. Fantastic. I have a Hawaiian family that's over in Oahu. They are amazing, even though that I am not married into the family anymore and stuff there. They still claim me as family, and they are wonderful. So this broke my heart when I read this next statistic. Among all U.S. states, Hawaii has the highest percentage of adults that sleep less than 7 hours per night. 43.2% of the population over there get less than 7 hours per night. That broke my heart. When I was over there, it was like, oh my goodness, I slept the best. It was, you could listen to the waves crashing on the ocean. You could smell the salt air and everything. When it rained over there, it was a warm rain compared to what we have here in South Dakota, which is cold. It was a nice change. So I thought, okay, well, and everything seemed to be always so laid back. So when I saw this statistic, this blew me out of the water. It's like, seriously? My Hawaiian brethren over there and stuff there? Oh my goodness. It's like, oh, I felt so bad there because it's so beautiful over there. But the other states that fell in there, West Virginia has 42.5% of the adults and stuff that get less than 7 hours of sleep. Kentucky fell in at 42.1%. The beautiful, beautiful state of Vermont basically came in at 30.1%. Colorado, been there once, absolutely gorgeous, 30% even. And Minnesota, our cold friends over there and stuff there that are next door to us there, 29.1%. I knew people weren't getting enough sleep because, okay, I'm raising my hand. You can't see it, but I'm raising my hand. I knew that I didn't get enough, and I haven't for years. But to see these numbers as high as they are, it actually really shocked me, which I suppose it probably shouldn't for everything that we're going through. We're going through COVID. We're going through, a possible recession. There's so many things, inflation is up. There's so many things that are weighing on all of our minds. And then it's like, getting sleep is hard enough without all of this additional stress to put on top of it. One thing that that always gets me is, especially when I get up at midnight, that voice kicks in my head and it says, "You need to eat, shove some food in your mouth," and it's like, no, it's like I ate a while ago. You don't do this to me because I can't take any more calories in for the day. But that voice is always nagging me in the back of my head, saying there, "Oh, well, that cookie isn't bad for you. You just pick it up and just munch on it." And it's like, no. Well, what about the cake that's sitting on the counter? No. Anytime that I walk by, go to a restaurant, you take a look at that. It's like, oh, well, look at our dessert menu. No, you guys are killing me. Just like the past 2 days in my at work and stuff there in the break room, there's been all kinds of goodies. There's been cinnamon rolls, there's cookies, there's danishes, there is muffins, it's like, oh my goodness sakes. The only redeeming value is the nice lady that does it for us and stuff there. She also brought in grapes and oranges and bananas. So I was able to have one of those. I just have to work it into, because like bananas, each banana is about 100 calories roughly for each one. Grapes run about 4 calories per grape. So I can add them together. I mean, yeah, okay. So I got to get a calculator. I'm not the greatest with math, guys, but I do try to eat the good stuff. It was so hard the past couple days for some reason, and I don't know if it's because we're looking at, colder weather or what it is, but my body is saying, okay, you need to eat this. So I keep trying to stay away from them. It's like, go away. I can't do this right now. So, but I'm just grateful that, she thinks so highly of us that she brings things in for the whole crew and stuff there. There's always coffee. There's always other things there. She does a wonderful job making sure that we've always got something to munch on. It's just when you're on a, weight loss journey like me, you got to be real careful with what you eat. So the next statistic that I found, drowsy driving is responsible for over 6,000 fatal car crashes per year in the U.S. That shocked me a little bit, but honestly, I was thinking it was probably a little bit higher, just because there's so many people like my friend Kevin. He drives 2 hours a day. I learned there's another gentleman I work with. He lives in the same town. He drives 2 hours a day. I couldn't imagine working an 8-hour shift and then you have an hour to go to work your 8 hours, and then an hour back just driving time. It's like, oh my goodness, I don't know how you guys do it, but I can understand. Honestly, I would have thought that number would have been a little higher, but it's, for the most part, it's like, okay, 6,000 is enough, so just be careful, make sure you get some sleep, guys. 9 to 15% of U.S. adults have insomnia that affects their daytime activities. That's a staggering number in my book, knowing that there's that many people that they're running so low on getting rest. It's like, holy smokes. It's like, how can you function? It's like, how do you make it through the day? And I'll admit, there's some nights I only get 2 hours of sleep. So when I get 5 hours, I think I've died and went to heaven. But there's some nights that I only get 2 hours, and then the next day, I admit, it's just like my concentration's not there. I can't think. It seems like my brain's wrapped up in a blanket. It's just like, how do I do this? And sometimes the most simplest of tasks are just like climbing a mountain. It's just like, oh, okay, how do I add 2 plus 2? I can't get there. What's the number for 911? I can't figure it out. It's just those things. We don't get enough. Your brain just isn't running right. So, I can understand where they're coming from. Another thing that I learned is about 44% of men and 28% of women snore. Honestly, I'd thought the men would have been a little bit higher. I was expecting like 80%. I'm not going to lie. The more tired I am, the louder I snore. And my son will attest to that one there and stuff. So honestly, I thought that number would be a little bit higher, but I thought it was pretty interesting to bring up. This one here really blew me out of the water. So a 10% increase in body weight can equate to make you 6 times more likely to have other sleep disorders. That really blew me right out of the water. It's like, so just by gaining a few pounds, you can actually increase, your insomnia. You can actually, basically anything dealing with sleep apnea and everything. They're just a 10% increase. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, that can be as little as 10 pounds can throw everything off for your sleep rhythms. So it's like, wow, that one blew me away. I wasn't expecting that one. 94.8% of adults lose at least an hour of sleep in a given week due to pain. That I can attest to 100%. I'm sure I lose a lot more than that, because there's just times that, my knees or my ankles are just absolutely killing me. And there's only so much medication you can take without going overboard. So there's just some nights that I just sit there and I get leg cramps, or I get, my joints hurt so bad it hurts to walk on them. It's just, I can understand that some people have the back problems, they have shoulder problems. If there's other folks, which I know there's other folks like me, they have migraines, and oh man, when you get one of those, it is just, that's a whole different ball game in pain. I wouldn't wish migraines on my worst enemy by any way, shape, or form. I mean, those things are just horrible. And I know so many people that end up getting migraines, and they're just miserable. Some absolutely cannot function. I probably have migraines. They've gotten better. I have to admit, they have actually gotten better with my weight loss and going the right way with getting to a healthier weight. But I still get them, and I don't know if that's due to the weather being outside, or if I'm running too low on something, say like sugar or salt or something like that, there to throw it off, or if it's just stress, which Lord knows we all have enough stress there to get us through for the problem. We wouldn't need any more, and there would be enough there just to get us to the end of our lifespan. But there's so much pain is huge. I mean, you wouldn't think that it would be that big of a deal, but it actually can throw things way off. So I can understand that one there being way so high. So the last fact that I have is melatonin use has increased 425% between 1999 and 2018. My own son takes it. I know of a lot of other people that take it. Melatonin helps you sleep. It helps your brain kind of shut down, put you into, basically to knock you out. Sometimes I feel, I'll be honest, and a friend has offered many times when I can't sleep, she would take a hammer and smack me between the eyes just to get me to go unconscious to see if that would help me sleep. It's a bit drastic, and I haven't let her do it yet there, but I'm not going to lie, there's some nights that I would think, okay, go ahead, just get it over with so I can get some rest. But melatonin, I know a lot of people use it. They're saying, I was reading on it a little bit and stuff there, and they're saying that it's used so much that some people take a little bit too much of it. So, be a little careful with that, folks. I understand we all want to try to get some sleep, and it's hard to figure out how to get more rest. I'm not going to lie. I'm working on that myself. I haven't got it figured out yet, but I'm working on it. If I can figure out any good tricks, well, you know where I'm coming to tell you. It's going to be right here. So then I looked up, since we have the facts and stuff, so then I went in and I did some research on some facts of why sleep is so essential to not just, your weight loss journey, but your overall health. And there was a bunch of different things, and and like I said, I researched many different pages to see if there's some commonalities. So what I did is I took the best of all the pages and kind of melded them together to see why sleep was so essential. And the first one is when you get enough rest, you have better memory and performance when you're either at work or at home or whatever it is. Sleep disruption may affect memory processing and formation. So, it's like when mine is wrapped up in a blanket, I can't remember quite as well. Sometimes I have to write things down. I write it down, then I go back to the keyboard to try to type it, and then I got to look back over in the piece of paper that I wrote it so I can type it. So I know personally that it affects my memory. And I'm getting older. I don't need any help in not remembering. it's getting to that point. I have to write everything down or I just can't remember it. So, because it'll affect your performance at work, at school, because, it's going to affect kids too. I don't want kids left out of this. We have to be careful with them too. Basically it's going to bother, your focus, your emotional reactivity, your decision making is a huge one. I know that for a fact. Risk-taking behavior, you're gonna be more apt to take risks because, you haven't thought of all the possibilities. Before I do anything and stuff, the first thing is, what's my insurance copay before I do something dumb? Just to think of, okay, I'm getting older and I know it's going to take me longer to heal. So that's one thing, memory, your cognition and stuff there by affecting your stress hormones. That's going to throw everything off for your sleep routine as well. So getting enough rest is essential. The next one there, which I did know, there's a couple that really tie in, and that's why I wanted to make sure that I got these here. It lowers, if you get enough sleep, it lowers your weight gain risk. So basically, when you're going through your weight loss and stuff there, everything is based on your BMI, or otherwise known as your body mass index. That tells you how much fat you're supposed to have for your frame and your weight, your age, your height, all that stuff. That's all factored in. So everything's based on the BMI. But the thing that they learned is when you get enough, basically get enough sleep, it's going to help you with your retention. It's going to help you with like inflammation in your joints, which really, really helps. It'll decrease the fatigue. You're going to get through the day a lot more. You're going to want to feel like you're going to want to go to the gym and exercise and burn off those extra calories if you ate any. If not, it's just going to help you with, burning more off that, hey, you got extra. So, we'll just do our best there to try to get rid of them. It'll help you maintain a healthy lifestyle by getting more. So all of that all factored in will help lower your weight gain risk. There's a lot of studies that have been on this one here. So if you get a minute, it might be a good thing to check into and see that, I'm not making this stuff up. This is true right from a web page there, a medical web page. Another thing that getting enough sleep will help you with is better calorie regulation. It's similar to gaining weight. So if you get enough sleep, you're going to naturally take in fewer calories because, you're not going to be wanting to go and get that extra cup of coffee. You're not going to want to go and get that donut or the bagel or anything like that there because your body's going to have enough energy just from the sleep and recharge cycle. It's going to help you get through the day. One of the studies in a 2022 clinical trial found that overweight adults who increased their sleep duration took in fewer calories compared with a controlled group. What they're saying there basically is if you sleep more, and I've noticed myself too, if I get more rest, say I get over my 5 hours that I normally get per night, 4 or 5 hours and stuff there, I actually, I don't eat as much. I don't feel like I need to go to the fridge and basically get anything to jumpstart. I need that sugar, that jolt right there to get myself going again, to get moving. So they said in that control group that adults that increased their sleep by an hour and a half on average took in around 270 calories fewer than the control group that didn't. So that's huge. If you factor that in per day, that's incredible. That's 2,000 calories per week. Roughly, figuring out math is probably a little over that there, but we all know I don't do well in math. But that gives you a lot more room that's going to burn more off. It's going to help you all the way to the end to maintain you to stay on your weight loss journey. So I think that's a really, really good thing to do. Another thing that it helps out with is you'll have greater athletic performance. Adults, on average, need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. But they're saying there that if you're, working out a lot more, you are running a lot more, you're doing anything where you're I know there's a lot of people that work very, very, very physical jobs. So they're saying that it's going to be more important instead of just the 7 hours per night minimum, you may have to bounce up to 8 or maybe even 9 hours to allow your body to heal and recharge. Because during sleep, that's when it all happens. That's when everything resets and gets you ready to go for the next day. So they're saying there that if you are, and I know a lot of people, and I have some friends that work. They work construction, they work out on the roads. They're laying concrete, they're roofing. Those guys are really, really working compared to me. That's a paper pusher that moves stuff across a desk, and I don't get the exercise and the moving and everything else like what they do. So they're going to have to bounce up their sleep a little bit. So that's something that they need to really, really watch. Another thing that to watch, and I wish I would have known this one sooner, because heart disease runs in my family and stuff there, and that is one. It would lower your risk of heart disease if you got more sleep. Basically, if you don't get enough rest, what that's going to do, it's going to bounce your body's blood pressure high, and that doesn't help anything there. Basically, it doesn't give your body a chance to regulate itself, reset everything. It all goes back to that stuff there, basically allowing your body to reset. So be really, really careful of that, but it could actually help you with your heart disease, because your heart will feel better, you'll get more sleep, and all I can do is basically say that's a big thing, because I wish I'd have known that ahead of time prior to going into what I'm doing. And so I'm doing everything I can to get more sleep and stuff. It's been known to help prevent depression. When you're tired, it's hard to see the good in things. It's hard to see the positive sides of everything. Depression is, boy, that's a monster. I fight that constantly. It's kind of like a night taking on a dragon. It seems like, okay, it's quiet, and then all of a sudden there it is, and it's like you're not ready for it. And I know a lot of people, basically, they're always dealing with depression, and it's tough. It is a monster that just seems unrelenting. It's just like always there, always there, always there. So if you don't get enough sleep, or basically, if you're an insomniac where you just get absolutely none, you're just basically increasing your shot at depression. So finding new ways, staying within a routine, just anything there to try to help you get some more rest it could help keep that depression monster away from you. That's one thing that I'm always hopeful for. I'll be honest. And one of the other things that I learned is you can have a stronger immune system, because sleep helps the body repair, regenerates, and basically recover from the day that you went through. Everything in your body needs time to rejuvenate. And then with the good food that you're eating now with your weight loss journey, and you backed off on all the bad stuff, your body has got the nutrients, it's got the fuel essentially to allow your body to heal up, to be better. I've noticed that since I've started this, I haven't been sick. I've been really, really good. Knock on wood. I probably just jinxed myself. But one thing that I've noticed is because I take vitamin D, take a multivitamin, and then if I can get my sleep up, I've actually done better. But I actually used to get sick in the fall, and I used to get sick in the spring, or one good knockdown, drag out. It was going to knock me out for 3-4 days sickness. I haven't actually had that since I started down this road. So just getting down my weight, watching what I eat, and then trying to get some more sleep. I think it's helped my mental aspect of everything out. It allows me to focus on other things. Like I said, there's always that voice in the back of your head saying, eat this, this is okay, it's no problem, shove this in your mouth. It's like, my goodness, it's like, would you just give me a break? It's like the ocean ebbs that are coming up, and I'm sitting on the beach, and it just comes up and it just keeps hitting you, and it's like, you know what, you're driving me nuts, but you're not going to win. I refuse to let you win. I'm going to beat this, and I'm going to come out a winner at the finish line. So by having a stronger immune system, I don't get sick as much. I feel healthier. I feel like I can do more. But honestly, I think it'll help you in the end by by just getting more rest. And I know you're probably tired of hearing it, because it's like me. It's like, okay, well, you don't get enough rest. Why are you standing here preaching to the choir? Because you guys are amazing for listening into my podcast, and I worry about you. I like to think of us, and I do as of right now, is we're one big family. We're in this together. We are going to do whatever we can to help each other out. So the facts and things that I'm learning about this stuff as we go through is huge. It's helping me. I get to help you guys out because you guys are so wonderful listening to my podcast. And I really do. I think of you guys as family now. So I want to make sure that I give you all the information that I can to help you with your own weight loss journeys. So just do whatever it takes to maintain, a regular sleep regimen. That's huge because you're already doing it with your food. You're already doing it with the exercise. It's so sleep is probably it's food in my book is the way it goes: food and then sleep and then exercise. Because you have the food is going to take you into sleep because it's going to give you the energy. The sleep is going to recharge you, allowing you to take on the next day and exercise. So to me, sleep is huge. So find a way there so maybe you need to shut down a half hour before you go to bed. Put away all the electronic equipment. Maybe just read. One of my favorite things to do is to sit there and talk to my son as soon as he gets home. And yeah, there's times that he comes home and he blows up, but I love that because I get to hear about his day. I get to hear how things bothered him, or he had a great day, or he helped a customer out, or something like that. But to me, that helps me relax by just listening to him and listen to his day. Maybe that's something that you got to do. Just find a good way to slowly relax before you head to bed. Maybe shut the TV off a half hour early and allow your mind to kind of slow down and shut down for the night, so that way your body can heal and allow you to basically get prepped for the next day. So just remember, it's recommended that adults get 7.5 hours of sleep per night. A little bit more if you're over the 60-year-old mark, which means you're a lot more wise than what I am. So I'm going to go with that there as, okay, you got to get a little bit more. Teenagers need 8.5 to 10 hours per night. So that's why when you think they're always in bed, well, their bodies are still forming. They're still growing. They're still this and that. They're learning, and they run it 110 miles an hour constantly. So just keep in mind that everybody needs a little bit different there. So with all that being said, the next section that we're going to talk about is the impact that it can have on your weight loss journey. So when all's said and done, some of the negative impacts that I have learned when you don't get enough sleep, these are the things that I've been able to figure out, and you probably know them, but I'm going to bring them to the table and allow you to do whatever, what you need to get past them. When you don't get enough sleep, you tend to make poorer food choices. You're sitting here, it's 5 o'clock, you're at your desk going, dear God, okay, now I got to figure out supper. I already know I got to do laundry. I'm going to help kids out with homework. There's all kinds of different things. So your first thing is, well, I'll just grab some fast food, on the way home, so that way I don't have to cook. That way I can do multitasking and 4 other things. Of course, that's going to be high in carbs and calories, not good for you. So that when you're tired, you just don't feel like standing in the kitchen and making the food. The second thing, increased hunger and calorie intake. You're going to be more hungry because your body's trying to do whatever it can to keep going. So you're always going to grab those high carbs and calorie foods, anything that's easy, anything you can grab off the counter or out of the counter and just, basically pop it in your mouth and keep going because you need that fast jolt of energy. So then, of course, none of that stuff's good, and that's all going to be higher in calories. Another thing that if you don't get enough sleep or decreased physical activity, it's going to make it more difficult for your body to recover. That's huge especially for you folks that are working out. You got to make sure that, you give your body, you're sitting there working for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever you're working out, your body, you're straining the muscles, you're working everything, your heart's moving, everything's going. So you need time to heal up. So if you don't get enough sleep, then that's going to impact that. And then just poor mental health altogether, making good decisions, keeping your mental acuity up. All of that goes hand in hand. Another thing that I learned was the body won't use the extra fat that you got in there, the fat stores for energy while insulin levels are high. Basically, anything that raises the blood glucose, your blood sugar levels and stuff there, will raise insulin levels, making weight loss so much harder to get that stuff off, because it's gonna force you to go eat something instead of using what you already have excess of. Stress levels can skyrocket out of control, which is, Lord knows we don't need any more of that. So, that's one of the negative impacts. Like we talked about before, depression will kick in. So I thought, okay, well, we've done all these negatives and stuff there, and I always want to keep a positive. So I came up with some ideas, and I have done all 5 of these things, and believe me, they help. I mean, it's like, okay, if I know that I got to get through the day or whatever, and I know when I'm tired when I get home, this is what I'm going to do to try to help me to set myself up to win. One of the things is to shorten cook time. Use canned or frozen foods. Believe it or not, they're still healthy for you. Just watch the canned the foods and stuff there. I watch that basically for salt content, and some of them are a little higher in calories, so I try to be a little bit more careful with that there. So I stay away from. I do more frozen because typically it's healthier for you. And frozen, if you're making like a stir fry, the frozen foods will all cook up at the same time and cut down on time instead of doing several different things. This is one thing that I started right away, to keep healthy foods where you can grab and go at home and at work. We all need that moment to where we're getting those cravings, we're getting hungry, whatever it is. And it's key to keep going. So keep yourself something. I keep cheese around. I keep beef sticks. I keep granola, all that kind of stuff. Anything that's fast and easy that I can grab. I do have bananas at times. I do have grapes. I do have apple slices. Anything like that where I can just quick grab stuff and keep moving. It's because we all have very active lives, and to slow down to eat right is difficult. So you want to set yourself up to win on that one there. If possible, which I do this, and it helps, is I'll take a nap. I know we're short on time, but you're going to get to the point. By the time I get to Saturdays and stuff there, because I clean house and do laundry and all that stuff, most of the time I am so shot, there's no energy left. I need time to just power down and allow my body to heal a little bit. So I'll take an hour and a half, 2-hour nap. I know that seems impossible, but once you start doing it and you work it into basically a routine, I don't do it every weekend, but when I do, and I do take that nap, oh my goodness, do I feel so much better. And I seem that I can tackle the next week a lot easier. Just that extra, even if you took a power nap, a 20-minute nap or 30-minute nap or whatever it is, whatever you can squeeze into your routine makes a monstrous difference. I mean, it helps on so many levels. So another thing that I came up with, if going for walks, basically, maybe doing yoga, meditation, anything to give your body, time to rejuvenate. Those are really, really good for the mental side. And like I've said many times, you're in for the mental fight of your life when you're going through this weight loss journey. I fight it every day. Like I've said already twice, that voice in the back of my head saying, eat this, eat this, eat this. I have found that when I'm out in the hills, I go for walks, go for hikes. I just sit at a picnic table by the lake. That voice actually tends to go away. I don't think about it because I allow myself to kind of float out and just give myself a chance to relax. I found that helps out big time with that little voice in my head. The longer I stay in the fight, I stay in pushing and pushing. I got to get this done. I got to get that done. The stress levels, the higher the stress levels, I found that little voice gets louder. So if I can reduce the stress levels and just kick back a little bit, I have found that it actually helps me out big time with my weight loss, and I don't want to munch as much. So that helps out, all the way across the board. And the last thing that I come up with, I kind of led into this already, was just reducing the stress in your life. I know that's difficult, but even if you can start, finding a way to take 10 or 15 minutes, if that's all you can muster in a day with everything that you're going through, to either relax or get a power nap in, honestly, you're going to find that 10 or 15 minutes, honestly, will turn into 30 or 35 minutes because you're going to feel better. You're going to want that break because it's going to help you basically get through the next day. It'll help your mood. It'll help your temperament. I notice that the more tired I get, the more edgy I get, more cranky. I'll be honest, I get cranky. And I have a tendency not to be able to hold my tongue quite as much, so I have to be really careful with how tired I get. And then if I get too tired, then my migraines kick in, everything kicks in. So it's scary in how much our body needs sleep and how much we rely on it, but unfortunately, that's the way we're wired. So the last section, I'm noticing by the clock on my computer, I'm running kind of long, is the psychological effects sleep or lack of sleep can have on you. We've kind of covered this already through the past 45 minutes. So I'm just going to kind of blow through this real fast and stuff there because I don't want to keep rehashing anything. But I think it's very, very, very important to address this so you know what you're up against. We all fight it every day, so I just want to make sure I give you the best possible chance of success. So if I'm just going to blow through these real fast because I'm getting low on time, and we've already covered some of these, so bear with me while I get through this. Once you start down the dark road of the lack of sleep, like walking down a dark alley, you never know what's going to come at. A lot of negativity, a lot of bad things can happen. And some of the things that I have learned on my basically my weight loss program, going through all this, negative moods can set in, which is anger, frustration, sadness, irritability, and then worst of all, depression and anxiety pick up at that point. So you want to be really careful there. Migraine headaches can increase. I know this one from personal experience, like we talked about before. It can start dragging you down. Reduced alertness. I have noticed that. I didn't bring that up anywhere throughout, but you just don't seem like you're quite on your game. I've noticed that when I get tired, it feels like my tuchus is like 6 or 7 steps behind me. That's when I know that I'm not noticing things, good or bad. The easy things to notice. Somebody changed their hair color, or did you move the pen from this side to that side, or did you pay this bill, or whatever it is. Your alertness isn't quite there. Shortened attention span. Mine's already short enough as is, not gonna lie. I squirrel all the time. I'm all over the place, so I didn't need any help in that area, so I paid attention to that. Unable to make good decisions, like we've talked about before. Your decision-making skills really decrease with the less sleep that you get, so it's really, really good to keep those on the, keep your sleep on the up and up. I already 48 years old, not gonna lie. My memory is already slipping a little bit, so I didn't need any help in this area. But you actually have a poorer memory. Your brain isn't working the way it should be, so it doesn't remember. And I've actually found where it actually doesn't like log it in. And like there's like somebody told me, "Well, I already told you." And I was like, "No, you didn't." But they actually did. It just my memory didn't write it in the Rolodex up there in my head. So. Reduced concentration, like I talked before, my brain being wrapped up in a blanket and everything else, that plays a huge factor too. So when all said and done, I think I brought a lot of good information to the table. Hopefully I did not put you to sleep. I was doing my very best not to do that. There's a lot going on. We're all really busy. And like I said before, you're my extended family. We're all in this together. I am so proud to be able to talk to you, to be able to bring this information to you, to try to help you with your weight loss journey. And even I've already been told some people, they're not having any problem with their weight loss. They just like the information that's being brought to the table, and they feel it's very helpful because it's presented in a very positive way, and that's the way I want everything set up for you guys. So that way, when you listen to my podcast, and you can take whatever little bit in there or all of it, whatever helps you. I just want it there for you, so you can take away whatever part is going to help you and make your day better. So that's really why I'm doing this, and to have so many people getting a hold of me already and saying thank you for telling me about this, or thank you for being so positive, or whatever it is, it means the world to me. So when I'm talking about this stuff, I honestly think I'm talking to my extended family, and as of today, which just so you know, most of my shows are recorded about 3 weeks in advance. So that way I can always make sure that I've got time to do research and time to make sure that I don't miss the Tuesday air date and stuff there. But we have, downloads have increased significantly for people listening to the show, and we've now gone global. I'm not sure who is in Australia, but I want to say thank you for listening to my podcast. Granted, it's going to be 3 weeks late when you finally hear this, but I just wanted to say thank you. It was incredible. I never expected to be stretching out as far as what I am. So I'm hoping in some small way that this is helping you too. But I just want to say thank you to my friends down there in Australia. That is so cool. Thank you for listening. So I'm going to basically be done here. Let you get back to your day. So you can get back to your routines and stuff there. But altogether, remember, you got this. No matter what, don't let anybody tell you any different. Don't let anybody drag you down. Don't let anybody give you negative thoughts. Remember, you got this. And I'm trying to be your biggest cheerleader here, saying you got this. I want to help you through it. I believe in you. I know you can get there. I know you're going to get across that finish line and you're going to be happy. Just know that, yes, you're going to have up days. You're going to have down days. There's days that are tough. So just know that I'm always behind you. I'm always rooting for you, and I want you to succeed. So by doing all that, my manager, my son, Alex, told me that he wants me to talk to you guys, and just so we can get the word out to everybody. Make sure, I don't know which platform you're listening to, if it's Pandora's, if it's on my Buzzsprout website, or if it's on Apple, or if it's on Spotify, wherever, YouTube, wherever you're listening to, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share. Please comment, positive comments on the pages and stuff there. Anything there to show that you're listening to it. Share my Facebook page, whatever it is, because what that does is it just moves me up in the algorithm, so it allows us to grow our family and help more people, because I'm already getting folks that are coming back to me and saying, hey, guess what? This is what I'm doing. So if I can get tips like that, I want to work them into the show to try to help everybody out, because there's other people that have done other things and it worked for them. I want to bring that to the table, and I want to help people. So by doing all the likes and the shares and all that stuff, I'll be honest, it's over my head. I'm still learning. But by doing all that stuff, that moves me up in the algorithms, and it makes it easier for folks to find me. So I would really, really appreciate if you do something like that. It means the world to me. So I'm going to finish it out now with my famous dad joke of the day. So I always like knowing that you guys are going to groan with these jokes here. So I found a really, really good one today. So the dad joke of the day, here it is. What do you call it when a snowman has a tantrum? A meltdown, of course. I love those groaners. Love them, love them, love them. Makes my day so much better. All right, thanks, guys. This is it. We're all said and done here. Go out and enjoy the day. Good luck on your weight loss journey. Know that you've got this. I'm behind you 100%. All my love and support, Sean.